This video is sponsored by Denny Mike's. Use code TPLM15 to get 15% off your next order of barbecue spices and rubs at dennymikes.com.
Hey guys, we are here today because we've got even more work to do on this front bumper. As you can see, I have messed up the paint on the center trim. Something has happened with these fog lights. And we've got a couple other visual updates we're doing to Elsa the GTI. First, like I said, we're gonna be painting this trim. Next, we're gonna be replacing the bulbs and putting some protective film on these fog lights. I'll tell you why in a minute. We're also gonna be removing the hood wrap. I know it's been controversial. I'm gonna try it without it for a bit. And then we've actually got a surprise later in the video. I think you'll quite like it, and it's been long overdue. So first, let's get into the center trim. These pieces are a couple different brands, so it actually comes out pretty easily. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it off the honeycomb and leave it here so I can work on the lights later, but everything should just come right out. I've gotta sand this all down. I've gotta prep it. I have this adhesion promoter spray that I got from Advanced Auto Parts, and then we're gonna respray it with some of the extra paint that I still have from the first time I painted it. Truth be told, I did zero prep work the first time because I put a self-constrained timeline on getting it done and getting this bumper back together. So I did zero prep and it shows. So now I've got to go back and redo it. This is breaking. So I pulled the fog light covers off just to keep those safe. But seriously, what the heck is that? It just bent a little bit and started to slice like a knife was going through butter. What the? I mean, I knew I needed to redo it. That was my fault. But I thought I'd be able to get it off. I mean, the crazy thing is some of those clips just snapped when I was prying them out. But no other clips on any other trim piece broke. It's just soft. Just bends so much. This isn't Volkswagen OEM. This is Bremen parts. And I guess you just have to treat this as a consumable. If you put it on, it's not coming off in one piece, I'll tell you what. Now, before you say it's 100% my fault, I was being too rough on it, I probably could have been gentler on it. You can't see it, but it started to twist just a little bit, and the first little twist from the weight, it already started to sever. It was just really, really, really soft. It's a little unfortunate. I guess I gotta order a new one. Probably could have been gentler with it, but you know what? Can't change the past. Well, that's annoying. I've already ordered the new center trim, so that might take a couple days to get here. And I may or may not paint it. I don't know, I was kind of debating that, honestly, but I'd already painted the first one, so I was gonna paint it again, but we'll see, TBD. So we're gonna keep things rolling, and we're gonna start by taking up this corner of the wrap. So this wrap has been on for a year or so. So I'm interested to see what this car looks like without it, because I kind of forgotten, and to see if I need to do any paint correction once this thing comes off. Yeah, I think there's going to be some paint correction needed on this. You can see it's a little yellow. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I think that looks a lot better now. Yeah, that looks good. Well, now that the hood wrap is off and we are still reeling from the snafu that is the center trim, I figured let's play a game. And we're gonna play which of these three bulbs fits these Hella 500s. These are all LED bulbs that are not the halogens that are in these. And I'll tell you the reason why we're playing this game is because I'm a bit of a sentimental softie. Now, what had happened was I had accidentally left these lights on for just a little too long, and they're on their own independent switch, if you saw that video. So I turned them off, let them cool down a little bit, came back out to wash the car, sprayed a little bit of water on them, and both lenses instantly cracked. Never had that issue before, because these are the lights that were on my first car. You probably see a really grainy Instagram picture. And I want to keep these on the car. There's something nice about just like, these are the lights that were on my car. I could have bought brand new Hella 500 Black Magics for less than this little stat costs, but I like knowing that these lights are the lights that were on my first car, these specific ones. Now I ran through a couple of options. I thought, okay, maybe I can replace the lenses. That process is more trouble than it's worth and not always successful. So then I was like, okay, I'll put some protective film over top just to make sure they don't get any water in there and short circuit them. But then some people were like, if those halogens were running that hot as to crack the lenses when they came into contact with contrasting temperature, maybe you should change the bulbs too. So that's what these are, LED bulbs, just to get the temperature down a little bit in there so I'm not worried about just even it is overheating in general, and it can run them a lot longer. So we are gonna do a couple of things here. We are going to attempt to remove this piece right here. There's two separate pieces, there and there. And it should just be one screw. I'm gonna see which of these bulbs fits. They're all kind of different sizes. I'd originally bought these Oxydo ones and they just looked a little too big. Then Hella makes their own kit, and I was like, they're the most expensive by far, but I figured if any of them fit, these definitely will. And there's these cheap $8 Amazon ones that are the smallest of them all, that I'm hoping should be the right fit. I think, honestly, the money's kind of on these ones, for real. So we're gonna try to get in there and try to get these off. We're gonna start by taking the screw out and then pulling these out to try to get to the bulb. So we are gonna start with the smallest ones. Look at the heat that went through that. Oh, yeah. Hi, we have an LED. Yeah, you can tell that is not as bright. I heard someone say that those halogens are actually pretty bright, but should run a lot cooler. I wouldn't have to worry about breaking them. I'm fine not having tried the other ones. Just that means I can return them. Just looking at how this is all laid out, I do not think these will fit. So, small ones it is. Just for reference here, these are the two things we were dealing with. You can tell the bottom of this one is just a little too long for how it went in there. Don't know what the Hellas look like. I don't want to open them if I don't have to. That's kind of the difference. This one's shorter, which might fit better, but this one will actually fit back here. So I have no problem with using the cheap ones. So next up on the list to get these lights to where I want them is some protective film. That's just because I don't want water seeping into the cracks and getting stuck in here, and no condensation and stuff probably still will. But the less that I know is getting in there, the better. So there's just a little extra layer of protection. I know I'm sentimental and I should just replace these, but I want to run them for a bit. Because it's pretty cool to me. So, do this. First up is a good cleaning. I needed it anyway.
Once I finished applying the headlight film, I took Elsa into the mountains to show you guys that little surprise.
So we're up here on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I wanted to show you guys probably the biggest visual change to the car. Pretty cool how I happen into these, but Elsa has new wheels. Look at that, 1552 Turbo Max in white to go with the white car. This was actually really fun because I traded the Watkins Glens for these. Just straight up traded. I think that's super cool. I mean, they look phenomenal on the car. Unfortunately, we're still waiting for the center trim to come in. I've got two on the way, one OEM and then a replacement from ECS of the Bremen parts one that I got, and that's still broken. Just so that I'll have a backup, but I want to try the OEM one on there. But seriously, look at those wheels. Now, they weren't my #1 choice if I were to buy them, but getting them in a 1-for-1 trade, I really can't complain. Only issue, Riken, or whatever, Raptors. I actually filmed the Butt Dyno Brakes video on these tires, and that is actually the lockups that you see. That's why these tires are like hockey pucks, as Mark puts it, my buddy. Not the best. I've got some heat into them and they've held up a little bit, but I can't really complain when the wheels look this good. Taking off the hood wrap and putting white wheels on the car really makes this car stand out. Makes it feel like I've done some things. I've done so much under the hood, I've done so much else, but now we're finally starting to look like, aside from the front bumper, again, a car that's been pretty decently modified. What do you guys think? Do you think the white on white looks pretty good, or should we swap them out for something a little bit sportier like ZTF wheels from 034 sooner rather than later? Let me know. I think these are pretty slick. Now, hopefully this center trim has come in by the time I get back home. So unfortunately, the center trim hasn't come yet, and I'm getting quite hungry. So we've got these petite sirloin steaks, and we're gonna be seasoning them with Denny Mike's Pixie Dust. This is my favorite seasoning he makes. So we're gonna sear these bad boys up on the stove. Unfortunately, I don't have a grill yet. We've just moved. I've known Denny for a while now, and he's been barbecuing since before I was born. So you know his stuff is quality. It's got no junk, it's fat-free, and it's gluten-free. Denny Mike's sauces and rubs have won many awards over the years, and they taste award-winning for sure. I'm not a professional cook, and I'm not even using a grill for this, but I can tell you what, this steak is gonna be phenomenal. Look at that. That's so good. Let's get some sauce on it. The smokiness from that sauce tastes phenomenal on this steak. Wow. And don't forget to use the code TPLM15 for your next order of barbecue spices and rubs at DennyMikes.com. Now, let's see if the center trim came in, because I'm ready for this bumper to look complete. So now that I'm officially fat, dumb, and happy, the center trim has arrived, and this is an OEM from Volkswagen piece of trim, unlike the Bremen parts piece that I bought before, which you saw ripped. You can already tell this plastic feels a lot better. Now, I was actually debating on not painting it, but since this came in primer gray, figured, you know, we gotta paint it anyway, so let's just go with white. I've got some leftover paint. So we're gonna get into that. We gotta scuff the surface a little bit, put some adhesion promoter on, and then we're gonna paint it. We're gonna do a lot more prep work than I did the first time I did it, because I just put myself in too much of a pickle that I didn't need myself in. So I rushed the process. But we're gonna do it right this time so the paint doesn't chip. So the last thing we're gonna be doing is taking off some of the stickers. Now, I know a lot of you guys think I get a little sticker happy, and I do. I'm trying to work on that, but I still like my stickers. So we've got some at the front we're gonna be removing. First, we're gonna start with this Maine state flag sticker. Unfortunately, it is where state inspection stickers go, so it has to come off so I can put a state inspection sticker there. The next, we're gonna be taking off the parking lot mechanic little banner that my wife so lovingly made. Just trying to clean up the look of the car. I might put one somewhere else, but just trying to see what it looks like with less stuff on the windshield.
Yes, they're already curb rashed, but I guess I'll never escape the rash unless I buy new, but I can't complain. This makeover cost me so little in comparison to what was accomplished. The style of this car is slowly getting refined and honestly, better than ever. We still have several items we need to add, including a front splitter, side skirts, and some carbon bits way down the road, but we're getting there. What do you think we should do next on Elsa? Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Support us on Patreon, please subscribe, and remember, Jesus loves you.